That's where most of this is coming from. My suspicion is that this is essentially it's a grand act of espionage. That you create addicts, you undermine the health of the public, you burden the healthcare system, you burden our national infrastructure, and by doing that, you weaken the United States. The fact is that our people are being poisoned. Um, Tens of thousands of people are dying from this every year, and the border's wide open, and China has yet to face any sanctions for this. There has been no there's been no pressure that's been put on them by the federal government over this, and it's unacceptable because whether they are trying to hurt us or simply don't care doesn't really matter. The fact is this is coming out of mainland China, and this is causing immeasurable harm to U.S. citizens.
Very well said. And as you mentioned, the CCP is very insidious and very evil in how they infiltrate this country, from using fentanyl to poison tens of thousands of Americans here and create weakness. As a matter of fact, Mr. Miles Guo, our founder, he told the world about the 3F plan of the CCP. That is to ferment or to cause weakness, chaos, and destruction. So this is definitely up their alley. Isaac, what else can you tell our audience about the CCP?
Well, I mean, obviously that's the big one. The thing that people have to understand is everything that they do goes back to Chairman Mao. Chairman Mao is, for lack of a better term, the founding prophet of that regime. He has a godlike status within that society. They have fostered an extremely strong cult of personality. During the Cultural Revolution, they destroyed as much of the traditional Chinese culture as they could. They destroyed, the works of Confucius and Lao Tzu, all of the great scholars. They demolished the temples, destroyed the statues, suppressed what they called superstition, which was all of the traditional Chinese folk practices. And so you have to understand, if you understand Mao, you'll understand everything. And one of the things about Mao was that he taught explicitly that the great utopia, right, the great revolutionary regime that's going to bring about fairness and prosperity and all of these great things comes through violent revolution. You cannot reform your way into utopia. You cannot have a peaceful revolution. It has to be through bloodshed, right? That the price of utopia is the blood of the people who would oppose it. And that is explicit. President Xi Jinping has stated that he hopes to maintain Mao's legacy in that regard. I believe it was, I don't remember if it was Mao or if it was Lenin, right?
It was Mao, yeah.
Well, no, specific quote, who said that the new order will come into this world like a newborn baby, right, which is in pain and blood. And so I don't know if that was Mao or Lenin, but the principle remains. And you see this with the one-child policy, right, where it's like we can just do what we need to do, right? There's nothing sacred. There's nothing off limits. There was a spokesman for the CCP who said about the one-child policy, we are a socialist country. We can control reproduction the way we control any other production. So human life has the same status as steel or rice quotas. And this is all in keeping with the ideology. So until the ideology changes, the regime is not going to be able to reform itself.
That's right. And that's why here at NFSC, we seek to save America from the dictatorship of CCP, and then we seek to free the Chinese people from this evil regime through peaceful means. And while we have been battling that, while we have been fighting the CCP over the past 6 years, we will continue to fight, and we'll tell the world, tell the people, and tell the Americans that we need to decouple from the CCP to stop our support, our financial, our technology, our military support to them. And when that happens, then the Chinese people can rise up and take down the CCP. So, Isaac, any last closing thoughts?
Well, I'm just very, very glad, right, that there are Chinese people such as yourself, such as the crew here, right, everybody who's been involved in this project, who are standing up for your rights, your country, your culture, and trying to make sure that we do not go through what you went through, and also eventually that China will have a bright future and be a free country someday.
That's right. Thank you so much. And unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. Isaac, thank you so much for coming on.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right.